What's up, good Vipo? I'm seeing from the chat that there was an issue. I'm not even sure how I overlooked that. It scheduled it for 11:45 p.m. Y'all know I don't go live that late. Y'all already know I do not start a live at 11:45 p.m. So all these questions, are we in the future? What's happening here? Y'all know it was a typo. I don't know what the hell happened on YouTube. I did what I was supposed to do. Well, and overlooked. Usually, yeah. Anyway, that was an oversight. But what's happening? TGIF to oh, I'm clicking on the wrong thing. I actually just did that trailer just to see how that works. Today I am working off of StreamYard with this vertical feature. I'm trying some things. I do not like it. I like it on StreamYard because I can share things with y'all. I can display the comments, although they look very awkward being way up here. But yeah, I like that I can use it to kind of do a show, so to speak. But I don't like the camera position, and I can't fix that. I want it further back. But anyway, hey mama, Maddie's mama, Chocolate, and I'm trying to click and it ain't doing. Chocolate and Don, Smart, Sandra, Mocha, y'all know I normally don't click as I do it, but Chocolate and Trakeisha, Precious, Margin, and anybody else in the chat that I might be missing. Thank you all for joining. Y'all know with these early midday lives, this is just us chatting, talk about a few topics, get us primed for the rest of the day. And if we go live later, today we will be going live later. I promise. I'm going to make myself go live later. I've been feeling a little wonky, but I'm going to make myself go live later. Chocolate is saying, it is so funny to see my suggestion on the thumbnail. I mentioned how D reminds me of Megamind. Yeah, somebody did that. Maybe it was you originally. I don't know who did it, but I saw it in one of the exposed groups, and then I decided to make it a part of a thumbnail. Hey, Trakeisha. Hey, there's wonder if a new link will be sent because the date is for tomorrow. Yeah, no, we ain't worried about all that. We're just moving on. We're moving on with life. We're moving on with life. But yeah, so today, just in this live, I wanted to talk about the Wendy Williams. There's been some more updates. There's been stuff happening. Like every day, there's something new developing with that. Although the documentary is over, they are no one is letting this go because we are now very aware of what is happening with Wendy Williams and her conservatorship. There's speculation, and I haven't looked this up myself, but I did see on my friend Chronicle Speaks. I didn't watch the video yet, but I did see her community post where she was saying that the judge who was responsible for making a decision to execute a conservatorship for Wendy Williams has a history and has been accused of doing it for attorneys, creating conservatorships for attorneys who have been known to invest, donate to her campaigns. So it's pay for play is what she's being accused of. And then also the actual conservator of Wendy Williams has been accused of embezzling millions of dollars from other conservatorships that she is responsible for. So there's some major stuff happening here. Trakeisha saying, and I forgot, this is more relaxed, so I'm gonna spend a little more time in the chat than we do normally during the show. I was enjoying the transcripts, had to switch up real quick. Oh yeah, we did the transcript readings on what was that, Wednesday? We had Terica. Yeah, it was Terica's testimony. And so I did the Terica voice as I was reading her testimony. So did that. That was fun. It was her direct examination on last Wednesday. Next week will be her redirect testimony or examination, as they call it from legal terms. So if you're interested, definitely you can watch the video from Wednesday. It's up on the Reality Chronicles channel, just so you know. And then we'll be doing it again on Wednesday, 7:15 p.m. Central, 8:15 Eastern, if you want to join the fun live. And D-Baby is saying, when is Velnito coming over? You know, there's been some discussions between Velnito and I. Actually, he was supposed to appear a couple weeks ago, and then he got busy. He decided he wasn't ready. He'll be back. What I'm gonna do though, if Velnito is a complicated character, because he really goes in, and so I want him to be able to be himself. So what I will do when we have another Velnito episode is it'll be a link that is shared via the VIP text community. So it'll be more like a private it'll be open, but only people who have the link. It won't be on this channel. So it'll be soon. I'll say that. Trying to see. So yeah, I wanted to oh, there's a poll question. Let me put this poll question. You know what? The poll doesn't seem like it's showing up anymore. I don't know what's happening. Even in my other live, it didn't show up. Okay, wait, unless they changed what the poll thing looked like. they changed the icon. The icon looks like it's something totally different now. I'm like, how did the poll disappear? So I'm put this poll in here. I was checking some of my VIP text messages earlier today. Well, actually, literally minutes before I got on here. And I got a message from someone asking me to cover the Martell Holt, I guess is also his wife, well, ex-wife. I think they're divorced. The person was saying, well, he's been treating her so bad lately. And basically they want me to talk about it. And I'm like, I don't follow them. I only watched like one episode of the maybe a full episode, maybe an episode and a half. I doubt it though, but maybe an episode and a half when the Huntsville first started. And for whatever reason, I never really went back to it. And then the show took off and had a cult following and all that. But I just was always out of the loop and never tried to catch up. So all I know about them is what I see in social media when they go viral. But other than that, I don't follow them. I have no idea what he's been doing lately to her. I just don't know. So I was like, let me not just say, well, I don't follow it and I really don't care that much, so I ain't gonna report on it. I said, well, let me just poll the people, and see what you all have to say about that. And already it's looking like 70%. It's rare. It's rare that I have this many people saying, no, don't worry about it. We good. Don't worry about it, Vel. We good. We're at 69% or so. It's adjusting, but the majority of people say, Vel, don't worry about it. Move on. I'm with y'all. I have no idea what he's recently done. It seems just like a bunch of toxic mess, but we cover that from time to time, depending on who it is. So moving on, just so I definitely want, when I put these things in the thumbnails, I want to cover these topics, and then we'll also freeform it. So because Wendy Williams is in the thumbnail, I want to definitely make sure I get to this article. So is this the right one? Yes, this is the right one. This is why I like using StreamYard, because I can do this. It looks a little awkward, but at least y'all got something on the screen. So they say they're out. Wendy Williams is no longer working with manager Will Selby or publicist Sean Zanotti, and as Elling Star stays in treatment. So they go on to say multiple sources confirmed to the U.S. Sun that Wendy's publicist Sean has been out of the picture for some time, which I think was, like I said before, that after that trip to L.A. And while her jeweler turned manager Will is said to be in contact with the star, but not on a professional basis. So they go on more with the article. So that was her team. So you got Sean, Will. They never really said the name of this other woman, but she's suspect just because I don't know. Anybody who rolling with Will, suspect to me. Says Sean was in hot water after she took Wendy to Los Angeles, the source said. Noting the tumultuous trip she took with Wendy 59, which was showed on the docuseries. It's quoted as saying, the last time Sean did any sort of work for Wendy was in May of last year, as she still needed a publicist when she had to back out of her speaking engagement at the Atlanta's Women's Expo after being hospitalized. I don't know if y'all remember that story. I covered that too when Wendy Williams had that gig at the Atlanta's Women Expo. She had done it before, I think in previous years, at least once before, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure. But she ended up backing out the week of the event. And I forgot how much they were paying. I think she was due to receive $20,000 or something like that. And they say a second source says Will had initially remained involved in Wendy's care, and he is one of the few people who knows where she is, but he no longer works with her. I still think it's abysmal that Will knows where she's at, but not her family. I'm hoping that it's just not public knowledge, and the case is that Lil Kev does have access to his mom. I'm really, really, really hoping that. So they said the son reached out to Will, Sean, and Wendy's official guardian, Sabrina Morrissey, for comment. Wendy's fans who watched the Lifetime docuseries got to witness firsthand Will and Sean's controversial. Why do they have her pick her feet magnified up in this? That's horrible. Says Wendy's fans who watched the Lifetime docuseries got to witness firsthand Sean and Will's controversial rapport with the ailing star. Will, who was originally Wendy's jeweler, became her manager in the aftermath of the star losing her daytime talk show in June of 2022. Sean began working with Wendy in early 2022 after she was introduced to the star through an attorney who was handling an action for Wells Fargo after the bank locked her out of her accounts. So then the other article that I found literally just right before we got on. Oh, it's not going to share it. I got to pull this down. Uh-oh. So there's an article where Sean, the publicist, has allegedly spoken. So I haven't read this yet. This is a blind read. It ain't that large for y'all, but did my best. So it's saying Wendy Williams, publicist, featured in shocking Lifetime doc, defends herself amid uproar. She says, I was lied to. It wasn't my fault. So that's Sean and Wendy. We all know. Most of us watched it. We already know. So it says, publicist Sean Zanotti wishes Lifetime never started filming her or Wendy Williams' life. Speaking out publicly after being featured in the two-part docuseries Where is Wendy Williams, which portrayed Williams' troubled life following the end of her talk show. Zanotti is sharing her opinion on the project with People. She says, it's horrible that they would do something like this to her, she said. And for what gain? For what reason? How dare she? How dare she? For what gain? For what reason did you do what you did and took her to LA and allow her to drink when you knew she shouldn't have been drinking? How dare you? For what gain? So it says Zanotti began trending on social media over the weekend after she was portrayed as being complacent about Williams' drinking issues and health decline. The publicist says now that she had known the project was not. The publicist said now that had she known that the project was not celebratory of Wendy and her career, she would have never taken part in it. What the hell are you talking about? She was quoted as saying, I would never let Wendy put her name and brand on the line like that ever. She's an icon. It's not the story we signed up for, and I feel lied to. She went on to say, it's so difficult for me to even watch. Wendy would be mortified. I think so too in some ways, but I also feel like this was definitely necessary. The truth is ugly sometimes, but it is definitely necessary. So they says, Sean tells people she has not spoken with Wendy since April of 2023, when she was admitted to an undisclosed health facility to receive treatment for cognitive issues. Wow, y'all, she's been in there since last April. It's going to be a year. It's going to be a whole year. On February 22nd, 2 days before the documentary's release, Williams' medical care team said in a statement that she had been diagnosed with progressive aphasia and frontotemporal dementia. Says 2 years after Sean was hired by Williams' former attorney as a publicist after Wells Fargo froze Williams' account amid questions about her cognitive decline. After her attorney was off the case, the former TV personality was placed under legal guardianship in May of 2022. And Sean says she was never paid for her work again. So she's working for free all that time. Besides one time I was paid by her manager, Will, for a website I built for Wendy's podcast. I work for free, she alleges. It seems like that conservative is getting over on a lot of people. According to Zanotti, Williams often called her at all hours and said she was starving during production. There was allegedly no food in her apartment which left Sean, who is LA-based, so worried that she would take turns with the star's closest pal, Regina Shell, ordering her food from across the country. Wow, y'all, this crazy. So when they said that the fridge was empty, that wasn't like, well, the fridge is empty because she always ordering DoorDash. It's the fridge is empty because ain't nobody taking care of her groceries. Well, even her niece said when she normally would go over, Wendy always had food. We know from the show that Wendy Williams is a foodie. Anytime she talked about food, her mouth watered. And they got this multi-millionaire legend in her house starving. Wow, y'all. She said, Sean was quoted as saying, all I did was help because Wendy asked me to, out of my own pocket. Now, we do know it was stated in the documentary that that Wendy Williams got to LA through Sean paying for it. Wendy Williams didn't pay for that. Now, we just assumed that Wendy Williams being a multimillionaire, that Sean probably was going to get her money back. Or at least Sean thought she was going to get that deal with NBC and she was going to get her money back that way. She says, I didn't make any money off of her at all. The whole time I've known her, I fed her, helped, advised her, and worked for her endless hours of the day for free. So that's why I was hurt and offended when I saw what her family was saying in that documentary about me. All right, Sean. I think I feel like you're doing a little much, but let's see. Do y'all, because y'all know I'm city country. Do y'all believe Sean? There's the poll question going out because I think we can do it. Yeah, we can do it. Do y'all believe Sean? She's saying that she ain't make a dime off of Wendy. And all she did was help because Wendy asked her to out of her own pocket. She explained, I didn't make any money off of her at all. The whole time I've known her, I fed her, helped, advised her, and worked for her endless hours a day for free. And that's why she's hurt that the family, and she's probably talking about Wendy's niece, who wasn't feeling her, like, devil, don't you hug me, and then walked out the room and said, if y'all have her here, I'm leaving. Get her out of there. Sean says she was approached for the project by Creatures Film and E1 Television, the producers behind another Lifetime documentary, Williams, What a Mess, in July of 2022, to do a multi-part premium documentary series following Wendy's next chapter in her life. While the original intent of the documentary was to chronicle her comeback by way of a new podcast, it became abundantly clear that the host was not fit to work. Williams is shown in the throes of alcohol addiction and struggles with health issues, including Graves' disease and immune system disorder that can cause bulging eyes and lymphedema, a condition that causes swelling in her feet. Then she has dementia, which affects language, communication, behavior, and cognitive function through the recent diagnosis was not known at the time of filming. So they found this out. For those of y'all who hadn't heard this before, they didn't know that Wendy was this bad off until they started filming. And that's why towards the end, you see that last scene with Will Selby. That's when the production team shows up to Wendy's house to work. Wendy is in her bed. She is wasted out of her mind. They say her eyes are rolled in the back of her head. They call Will. Will shows up. They're like, we're worried about her well-being at this point. This is not normal. And then he says, yeah, we need to get her some help, blah, 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 this and that. And they're like, finally, you're not acting like this is normal. To which he replies, well, it wasn't, this was like sparingly. This wasn't all the time, but now it's been consistent. Lies you tell, lies you tell. It's just because it was caught on camera. Now you want to act like things have changed. Sean says that at the time of the filming, she wasn't aware that Wendy still had a severe drinking problem or cognitive issues because she had never even met her in person until they started filming. I can kind of go with this. Mainly because of what we saw. And we know editing there's a lot of magic. You can create magic with editing. But what we do know is that during, y'all can't see this. This is too little. I'm gonna enlarge. Pull that down. Y'all know I'm reading people. So what we do know is that and it was one of the funniest parts to me. one part I chuckled was when she was on Zoom with Sean and they were talking about the podcast. And it was Will and Wendy were together in Wendy's apartment in New York. Sean was on Zoom from LA and they're talking about the podcast and blah, 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 and this and that. And then Wendy asked the questions, whatever she asked. And then Wendy didn't say bye. Hey, Michelle ATLian. Wendy didn't say goodbye. She just slammed the laptop closed. She was like, okay, like she was done. And then Will was like, you can't do that. You didn't say goodbye. So we know that, in fact, she was working with Wendy via Zoom. Now, what they never made clear in the documentary was that she actually came to New York for this documentary. This is interesting. So maybe she was set up a little bit. I did say that during one of my commentaries on this, that it could have been that the reason Sean was answering some of those questions in her confessionals the way that she was, as far as like, oh no, everything is perfect, nothing's wrong. No, I don't see anything wrong with Wendy. I think she's on the road back to who she was. Could have been because she's a publicist. So she's always going to spin the narrative to be positive, no matter what your eyes and ears and your common sense tell you. But also, it could have been that she thought that was going to be the tone of the documentary. And I said that she could have been the only one out the loop, that it wasn't supposed to be keeping it real. So she was gaslighting us, but she could have been gaslighting us not because she was totally delusional, but because she thought that's what the project was. And it didn't make sense for her to be telling the truth if the documentary wasn't meant to tell the truth. So I'm going to give her a little grace. Thank you so much, ATLian friend, for the super sticker. I really appreciate you for that. Here it is. So Sean goes on in this People article to say, I live in Los Angeles and I have only been around Wendy in person a few times. The first time was when we started filming the sizzle reel. She says, all those negative things about her in the press may have been rumors. I can't take that as fact. It wasn't my experience with her. I don't know. Now you're pushing it again, as usual. She adds, her management team told me she was ready for her comeback and pushing the podcast. They were the ones with her. I was never told she was struggling with alcohol and never saw it. Okay. Okay. So after being off the air since 2021, Williams was ready and excited to return to the spotlight, says Zanotti. At first, she wanted to do podcast. Wendy never says a podcast because to her it's podcast. So Wendy wanted to do podcast, but that quickly shifted towards a desire to return to television in some capacity. Yeah, from you taking her to LA and having her pitch in front of NBC with her Daisy Dukes on, putting her foot on the top of the conference table, telling them, look at my foot, I want to be natural on my next show. I bet that was a clown show. Oh my God, y'all, I bet that was so sad to watch. I wish, they don't do that in television land. They ain't gonna really disclose, but I would love for somebody who was in that meeting out there in LA, that NBC meeting, to tell us what really happened. Sean goes on to say, Wendy wanted to do something she could do once in a while when she was in LA. Sean says, noting that she set up a meeting at NBC that shows in the docuseries. Sean says, it was never going to be her own talk show or daily show. It was just something to do once in a blue moon to give her something to look forward to because she was bored. That is what she wanted. She loved being on TV, but couldn't quite let it go. So because I had a relationship, I just made a phone call. She made a phone call without Wendy Williams' manager, her team. How you going to do that? You're the publicist. You are not the manager. You aren't the conservator either, because you're technically supposed to be doing that stuff without this suspicious conservator's permission, because we don't know what they own either. Sean goes on to say, for the cameras, she was playing her role of being a good publicist. She says, I thought, well, you know what? I didn't say anything negative about her. I still protected her brand the best I could in those moments, she reflects now. You did. The problem is you was gaslighting us because we saw everything that said the opposite of what you were saying, and it made you look bad, Sean. I'm going to give Sean some grace, though. I'm going to say she probably got caught up in something she wasn't fully aware of what was happening. I'm going to give her some grace. But I'm also going to say she got some snaky ways, because her trying to get Wendy a deal with NBC that Will Selby, we already know about Will, but the manager at the time, Will Selby, wasn't aware of, and the conservator wasn't aware of. That says some stuff about her. That was some snaky behavior. So you ain't innocent. But I'm going to say you might have got bamboozled a little bit with this documentary. Just a little bit. Says, at times, Sean goes on to say, at times, I knew in my heart, maybe she needed more time. I wasn't quite sure. Now, we just watched it. We watched edited footage of however many hours. What was that? 8 hours. She had weeks of experience in it. And we could see in 8 hours of edited footage that there was a serious problem. And she's telling us in weeks of being around Wendy, she wasn't quite sure. This is where you be gaslighting us. She says, it's also clear that she probably didn't need a drink after looking at how everything played out. But no one ever told me she couldn't drink. And she only had those few sips around me. Sweetie, those wasn't sips. She was on her second drink with you. Those are gulps. The second drink that we saw on camera. Sean goes on to say, her health should always come first. Had I known, I would have advised her not to do the documentary at all. The second time Sean spent any real time with Wendy was filmed on camera in New York when the former talk show host told her she needs to get liposuction, called her a dumbass, and became erratic when Sean failed to purchase the correct vape pen. We all saw that. Sean goes on to say, I know and I saw those experiences of how she treated me, but in the moment, I tried to give her a ton of grace, she explains. She goes on to say, I also thought we were doing her comeback story, so I never thought that would air. And for me, I had to be as professional as I could because at the end of the day, she was my client and I was in front of cameras and not being paid. Let's add that. Sean goes on to say, off camera, she said Wendy apologized to her. She says, I didn't like the way that she treated me on camera, so we had a conversation about that. And she never treated me like that again, Sean maintains. Sean goes on to say, the next day, we were great. But instead of the documentary showing any of our beautiful moments together, like her telling me that she loved me, how the hell she love you, girl? She just met you. They chose to highlight all the negative stuff, she claims. I was speaking on the notion of the comeback the whole time. I told y'all that, though. In her confessionals, I felt like she might have felt that they were supposed to be spinning the narrative. She says, I was speaking on the notion of the comeback the whole time because that's what they told me the story is about. The headlines were putting out were that she was thriving. She is healthy and she's trying to get back into podcast. She said podcasting here, but I'm gonna just keep saying podcast. It's just funny to me. I chuckle. I believe that all to be true. In a recent interview with executive producers, Erica Hansen and Mark Ford Hansen shared that no one was aware of Wendy's struggles as they started production. So this is the production team talking now. They were quoted as saying, we had no idea that she had dementia when she started filming in August of 2022, or we wouldn't have filmed, she told People. I think the documentary really illustrates our journey of trying to understand what was happening. It sheds light on that period of time in Wendy's life where she was under the care of guardianship and living a very isolated life in New York in that apartment. She continued, we really did have concerns for her, and we thought about what would happen if we weren't there. We left her when we knew she was in a safer place getting the care that she needed. So they although we were like, oh, we got to cut these cameras, but they stayed around, right, Michelle? Podcast. They even with that, they said they basically still stayed around and in contact enough to make sure she got into a facility and away from the people who wasn't helping her. Goes on to say, the moment that Sean realized Williams' storyline might be shifting gears and capturing more moments of her downfall was when she flew to Los Angeles with Williams in tow. In the middle of the night, she said, Williams frantically called her from New York because she claimed she was being verbally abused by Will, her manager and jeweler, and that he wasn't feeding her. Well, we see that there was no food in her fridge. We have no knowledge of that ever happening. Oh, they say a source close to the documentary production says we have no knowledge of that ever happening. It was never brought up to production. Will didn't respond to People's request for comments. Wendy said, come get me. This is Sean again. Wendy said, come get me. I have nothing to eat. And she told me that she was hungry and mortified and afraid of him. And she needed me to come to get her right away. So Sean also says, so I left and flew to get her to help her. She was very nervous and anxious about what he might do. Sean, what I'm hoping you go on to tell us in this article is what happened when you got back from LA and you and Wendy was upstairs and Will showed up and he told the production team, y'all stay down here on this sidewalk because I got to go handle business and this ain't camera ready. This ain't gonna be for the camera. I want to know what Will said and did to y'all. Because he came down and just he said, yeah, I had to get real serious with them, blah, 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 this and that. But he didn't say, oh, I cursed them bitches out. Oh, I got in their face and I pushed Wendy over. Like, I want to hear what he do to y'all. What did he do to y'all? Because we saw how he got on that phone. We saw his tone. We saw that aggression. We saw a little bit of Kelvin Hunter in Will Selby in some of those moments. And I want to know, what did it look like in person? Please, Sean, tell us in this article. Let's see. So they said, Williams is shown in the documentary telling Sean that she is angry with Will for throwing away her alcohol and for the harsh way that he speaks to her at times. We saw that. For his part, Will shares that he's grown increasingly frustrated with policing Wendy amid her alcohol abuse, which means you were not equipped for this. You were a jeweler. Jewelry don't require, emotional support. You're not equipped to do that. So they say Sean says Sean says that was when she first reached out to Wendy's guardian, Sabrina Morrissey, to let her know about the situation with Will. We didn't know this part. So she even reached out to Sabrina like something ain't right. Along with having reservations about the documentary, I told her, this is Sean speaking, she said, I told her something didn't seem right and I had no control anymore. I wasn't sure what they were filming, how Wendy would be portrayed, that it didn't look like it was going the right way. She says she was going to look into it. And then they're saying here that the conservative was not able to be reached for comment by people. Surprise, 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 surprise. Hansen and Ford previously told people that they believed that Selby had good intentions. They are saying, I think Will had her best intentions at heart. I don't think anything was done maliciously. And then they added, I wasn't concerned. I don't think he would ever jeopardize her health or safety. I didn't have that feeling at all. Then they go on to say, after filming a few scenes over a few months in 2022, Sean says she was excommunicated from the project and has yet to hear from production. She says, they never informed me at any point that they were changing the direction of this documentary. Then they stopped talking with me, she alleges. They ignored me and never sent me the trailer or the documentary. She says, I just regret ever being a part of the documentary or getting Wendy involved. So despite Sean's regrets about filming, she says Wendy is very special to her. She was quoted as saying, I know you wouldn't think that from watching what you saw and my experience filmed, but she has such a big heart. I've gotten to know her these past couple years, and I will take it with me forever. She pauses, softening her tone. I'll cherish it until the day I die. That's a publicist's way of doing stuff. So that's the end of the article. Unfortunately, Sean, I don't know if you're going to save it for your book or something. I want to know what happened when Will Selby came up there and talked to you and Wendy when you got back from the shopping a deal with NBC in LA. I want to know. Poll question I'm closing out. Do y'all believe Sean's version of this story here in People? 20% of you, damn. I expected at least 50-50, especially as I read. Y'all so harsh. Do y'all believe Sean? 20% of y'all said, yes, you do. 80% of y'all like, get out of here, gaslighting. You've been gaslighting. We don't trust nothing you say, girl. Get out of here. You're done. We're done with you. We're done with you. Thank you so much for the reminder. I thought Marianne, we got only 62 likes, I think they're saying, and 172 people up in here. If you could please like the video, there's a lot of effort and work that goes into this, and it's free for you. It's free for you, but it's very valuable, and it's like currency for me. So please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and if you're new to this channel, it'd be greatly appreciated. So yeah, that's pretty much it right now on the updates for Wendy that I wanted to share with y'all on today. Then we move on to well, you know what? It's kind of hard when I'm handling the chat by myself because y'all be talking to each other and about everything under the sun, and y'all kids and husbands and grandkids, and I'm like, so I can't always tell. Wendy shows off her feet on TMZ. Yes, she originally did that, but now they show it all the time, is what I'm saying. Here we go. Majestic is saying she couldn't get food, but she could get bought. Yeah, well, I mean, yes, but she was getting those bottles herself. You know, like I had said before, she was, you know, taking taxi cabs and going to the liquor store and getting caught by the blogs out there buying a bottle at the local liquor store, or sending when she got caught with that time, she then sent got her cab, a taxi, and then she stayed in the back and gave him the money and said, hey, go get it for me. And then he wasn't smart enough to he told them he was getting it for himself, as the people noticed as Wendy in the taxi, and he going in and coming out with a bottle, and he's like, oh, it's for me. But then he wasn't even sharp enough to say, well, let me wait till we drive off to hand it. He handing it back to Wendy while he's still parked and everybody still got the cameras on her. He maybe did it on purpose. I don't know. But yeah, that's where we at with the Wendy Williams update as of this moment. Probably by the time I get off here, it'll be something else out there. Then y'all can let me know what y'all might want to talk about this evening. I kind of want to get into more of our less like regular people stories too, some of our news stories. I might grab one or two. Maybe we'll see how that works, but at least I want to get back into that. Thank you so much, Sapphire Blue, saying just joining. IAmVellB. Hey, Sapphire, appreciate your friend. And Thomas, what is this? Thomas Games and More, appreciate you. Welcome. And so the next story is, well, I guess I'll kind of give y'all a little preview. This is mainly what it is. It's a preview of what we'll be doing tonight. I've been getting so many messages about Darius Cooks. Vel, did you see? Now, we talked about the menu a couple days ago for the Three Queens tour. And now I've been getting other messages about, other stuff, antics that Crooks is up to. So I'm like, let me go ahead and get this stuff covered as well. One of the things that happened last night was Darius Cooks ended up on, there's this Instagram, well, it's this gay dating coach, and he's on social media, and he does a Wednesday night dating show on Instagram. And people just go on there, and they it's all gay. Well, it's open to gay men and women. They go on there and they basically shoot their shot, basically, to entice people to get in their DMs on Instagram and try to, get to know them and maybe go on a date with them or whatever. Darius Cooks. Now, I watch this show occasionally because it's very entertaining. You see a lot of the characters that are on there. It's just entertaining. And the chat is very entertaining. So Darius Cooks pops up on there last night. Now, I didn't see it live, but I realized it after the fact. And I was like, I missed it. But the guy, he put it up later. So Darius Cooks gets on there. He is, in his words, looking for a friend. He has told y'all he's a hoe. And this is, I'm just give a brief little preview. And then tonight we'll look at the whole thing. But this is a brief little preview of Darius Cooks going on a dating show, and you get to see who he is instantly when he gets on here.
It was a cat.
Oh, and the volume is really low, y'all, and I can't. I gotta re-edit and try to control
it. Damn thing. I guess Yeah, be worried about the wrong thing. The wrong thing. Is this a Darius? I think it is. If so, let me see something. Is this? I don't think it is. I think it might be somebody else. Let's see. Friend, what are you doing?
First of all, I'm drunk and high.
Drunk
okay?
and high.
I just finished cooking, and we just did a record $500,000 in sales this month alone.
Congratulations! Okay? Congrats! Okay.
Oh, y'all can't hear me because I muted myself. I just put a poll. You gotta love it. I was drinking my water and I didn't want that sound playing while I was playing the video. Did y'all hear the video though? Did you hear the video? Say, yes, I heard the video. I know I'm muted. Catch up. I know I was muted. Did you hear the video? Yes, I heard the video. No, I did not hear the video. Not yes, no. As long as y'all heard the video, we can keep moving. You're good now. Yes, I heard. Thank you, Majestic. Thank you. That's all I need is real full context of what you're saying. That's all. I appreciate that, friend. So that was Darius Cooks. The interesting part, and I put the poll, do y'all want to watch the rest of it later tonight? We'll go live at like 6, I'm thinking 6:15 Central, 7:15 Eastern. Hopefully I think that's a decent time. Like I like to go live a little earlier just because when I get off, I don't want to feel like it's time for bed. What was talking about some show us your knees? Is this spam? C. Blair. We'll see. Y'all handle that. Moderators handle that if it needs to be handled. But anyway, yes, he gets on Jazzy 84. He gets on, and the first thing he says is, yeah, I'm drunk and high. Who gets on on a dating show and you're supposed to be showing the best of you and you're admitting that you're a drug and a crackhead, basically, is what you're saying. A druggie and an alcoholic is what you're saying. Precious, are you that far behind? You saying I'm muted. And I don't think I'm muted no more. So he gets on saying that, and then the second thing he says is how much money he's made allegedly in the last. Yeah, and we just made 500,000 to so far this month. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? But then he's so quick to say everybody else just cares about money. So anyway, what I noticed, because I have watched that show before, is that oh, right. C. Blair, he's lost by his ego. Right. What I noticed is it was a softball kind of situation. I know how the show normally goes. The Beehive, Flying Monkeys, he went live, so it automatically notified them. So they rushed over, and where that guy normally has somewhere around 200 to 300 people in the chat, it went up to like probably 1,100 people or something. So people were so impressed by that. And I was just watching the human behavior piece of it because I'm like, I know how the show normally goes. There's no such thing as a softball situation. People call people out. The only thing, there were a few people. One person was like, Google him. And I chuckled. Just Google him is all he said. But most people most of them did not know who he was. Then you had the D-Hags in there. And so they're, clout chasing. one of them asked, and y'all will see it tonight. One of them asked if Crooks would ever consider, they said, you have a lot of female followers who really like you. Would you consider coming over to the other side, meaning dating women? Some of them are really, this is part of his grift, is the fact that some of those women really keep holding out hope that this gay man who has never, ever been attracted to women, never been with a woman, never dated a woman, has no desire for women, has said that he is disgusted by the female body and body parts. They think that they might have a chance with him. And for that, they follow him. Craziness. Yes, C. Blair, my mods don't play. So I don't know what you up to. I'm catching, it look like your comments okay, and then it look like some shenanigans going on too. We don't play over here like that. So just know. We holds it down. Thank y'all, moderators. I don't know what happened, but thank you. So anyway, so we got that. The other piece, and I didn't have time to pull a clip before we need to go live. The other thing is that Darius Cooks, there's a, y'all know there's a coalition. There's people who expose Darius Cooks for all of his antics, the scams, the crimes, the grifts, and cyberbullying, and all the stuff that he's done over the years and continues to do to this present day. They call him out about it. Well, one of these people, right, Tanya is saying, good Lord, this boy has made it clear that he does not like girls. Yes, but they still are holding out hope. Still holding out hope. Right. So he, so there's one lady, she's actually a chef or a baker, I'm not sure, but she's either a chef or cook. She's a cook. And she has cancer. She's been battling cancer for the past couple years, to my knowledge. And she is part of the coalition. She's been very active and very vocal about Darius Cooks. Now, if I recall correctly, she has accused Darius Cooks of stealing her recipes back in the day. And that is the reason why she has issues with him and has also been very vocal about exposing him. Now, he leaves that piece of the story out. And what he, now she's going through chemo again, I think. And so she's been posting about it. So now he's posting on his social media, basically saying that her cancer is partially caused because she don't mind her business, because she in his business. And he's projecting it as if she's just some random person who chooses to speak on him. Now, mind you, she ain't harassing him. She ain't coming into his world and saying nothing. She's just in the coalition speaking up and exposing as everyone else does. So now, because she's battling cancer, he wants to act like that has something to do with the fact that she's exposing him. And also acting like he's innocent and this crazy woman is just attacking me and that's why she got cancer. But it's just the lies and the way that he flips narratives to act as if this woman, for one, her cancer has anything to do with him, but for two, that she's just bothering him out of the blue or even speaking about him when, as if he's never done anything wrong. But that's the way that he recreates the narrative. Oh, I'm got lost of it because I got too many chats open. He posted about her cancer in the past also, if I remember correctly. Yes, Chocolate, he absolutely did. It's been so long that I don't have it. You know what? I might have it in my archive. I might have it in my digital asset program. Yes, he absolutely did. I might have it over there. So yes. Then the other thing is the Chantel's Justin Till interview. I think we might just go ahead and watch it with the public tonight. So that might be, I'm trying to still figure out the show. But maybe we'll watch that as well. And kind of revisit that a little bit. And then I saw, again, it's hard when I'm handling the chat. But I saw some suggestions, I think. Now I can't find them no more. If you have any suggestions, though, this would be a good time to put them in there of topics. And then when I watch the replay, if I don't see them before we get off, I will make a note of them. And the poll question I'm closing out is, do you want to watch Crooks' dating clip tonight? 66% of you say yes. 34% of y'all like, no, it's just enough torture. I get it. But the majority wins over here. So unless I make an executive decision. So, okay, so we'll watch that tonight. I think we're going to also do the Chantel Justin Till interview, and maybe I'll we'll do that. And then I'll figure out. I kind of got an idea. Oh, that's what it was. I did. Thank you, Alice, for pulling that up. Mayor Henyard from Dalton, Illinois. So maybe if I could pull at least a little overview of that, not like the in-depth deep dive, but an overview of that, I think I'll pull that in tonight. Maybe I'll do. So maybe tonight's theme will be scammers. I like that. So we can have her. And then I still got that another story related to another scammer. Yes. So I like that. That's a good thing. That's a good thing for tonight. Scammers. And I think I'm gonna put that in the thumbnail. Scammers across the top and the photo of each of them. There we go. That's good. I like that. Why Not says, I'm trying to see where I can read it best. I love the channel. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much, Why Not. I really appreciate you for that. Tanya is saying, all the time that I was watching Crooks, I had no idea. I guess he is evil, petty. How evil and petty he is, maybe. I will not be watching anything Crooks. Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I keep doing the content that I'm doing, because there are a lot of people who follow him who only see him posting the food, and they see the little bits here or there, some TikTok stuff, and then they might hear of the drama, but they're only hearing his version where he's recreating the narrative, and so they think that he's harmless. When all in all, he's the reason for all of this. He's the source of all the chaos. He is a chaos magnet. Vale, can you interview Chantel and one of the servers? I am open to interviewing anyone who asked me, but will I reach out? No. So if y'all want to reach out to them and ask them to interview with me, totally fine. Y'all want to facilitate that, but I'm not reaching out. The other thing is I have not missed words with when it comes to the Chantel piece of it. So they may not be open to it as well. She ain't scamming. She ain't playing in people's face. She ain't scamming. She ain't scamming. She playing in people's face. I think she's doing both. I think you're talking about Mayor Henyard. I think she's scamming and playing in people's face. It would be good if you can interview Krystal. Now, Don, you done been around long enough. You've been around a long time, friend. Do you really think that Don would be interested in that Krystal would be interested in interviewing with me after all the things that I've said, all the memes I've put out there, all the photos that I put out there, seeing her in person? Do you really think that she would be interested? I highly doubt it. On top of that, what I'm not clear on with Krystal, I don't believe Krystal will ever come out and say anything about Darius. I just don't. I don't, because for one, she knows how he rolls. She knows that he would possibly dox her. The hags will turn on her, all those sort of things. I don't see her speaking on him. Many of these people don't speak on him. He has put fear in them because they've seen what he's done to other people. So now Chantel and the wait staff, well, the wait staff probably, I'm open to that, and they probably wouldn't have problems. Chantel, I'm not sure of. But yeah, Krystal, don't hold your breath, friend. Do not hold your breath for that one. I would be shocked with that one. He had to really probably do something major to her, more than what he's already done. Oh, the other thing is, do y'all know if Ramon still works with him? Because I didn't notice until I got off one of the lives that people were saying basically I need to interview Ramon or whatever, Ramon. And I'm like, I thought, and I mentioned in the live that no, he still works with him. He's not going to say anything. But based on what people were saying in the comments, I think that he must still, he must not work there anymore. But I missed that if he doesn't. Vel, I still want you to interview DJ Booth. Set it up, friend. Set it up. Make it happen. Yeah, you're right about Krystal being scared, and I agree. Yeah, I don't see that one at all. Drew Fizzle is saying he let Ramon go because he wouldn't help with the kitchen comeback. See, I missed that one. Now I'm curious. I wonder if the groups didn't really cover that in depth. Interesting, or did I just miss that? Oh, you know what? I was out of town that week too, so I may have just missed it. Maybe I gotta go do some digging back. Ramon was a smart man then, but he had Ramon like working in the warehouse and just doing any and everything. Here we go, Drew Fizzle. This is the real reason. Ramon wanted to discuss money. So Ramon finally got hip to game because remember, he had Ramon working. Ramon came on as a sous chef for y'all giving me more. Thank you, Drew Fizzle, because you giving me, I did not know all of this, but it's adding up to everything else I know about Crooks. So Ramon got hired to work the Dining with Darius Cooks events across the country as a sous chef. That was his job. Then Darius started canceling events left and right, and their money was being affected as well. So Darius, and then they would have off days, etc. So what Darius then did was pulled Ramon and whoever else, and Krystal as well, into working at his warehouse. And so they became packers and all that other stuff. Now, I'm gonna have to make some assumptions here. My assumption would be when the Dining with Darius Cooks events were completely done at the end of this last year, there were going to be no more of those. Kitchen Comeback wasn't on his radar when he first ended those. So then Ramon, to my knowledge, seemed to be working in the warehouse because I heard him in the background of a couple Darius Cooks lives talking about labels and how you want me to box this up and how you want this to do. Thank you, Jackie, saying it was discussed in the group. Thank you. So I'll go back and see what I missed. I was out of town that week. That's what it was. So what I'm assuming, and y'all, I guess when I catch up with the group, y'all probably broke it all down, the exposed group. Ramon is working in the warehouse for whatever rate he's getting. Darius Cooks then wants him to also come for that weekend for the kitchen comeback. Now, Ramon, in his head, he's like, now my salary probably got cut to work at the warehouse or something because Darius Cooks is a cheap bastard. He's a get-over king. And he's always saying people are concerned with money, but it's him, as you see from that little dating thing. As soon as he hops on, why are you telling, who does that? Who gets on a dating situation and the first thing you say is how much money you make or made that month? Yes, my salary made $12,000 this month. Like, who does that? But that's how he rolls, because money is his existence. That's why that's going to be what God takes first. But anyway, so we can assume that Ramon was like, hey, okay, I'm supposed to be doing this. This is what you hired me for now. I'm doing the warehouse. Now you want me to go back into cooking, which is fine for this weekend, but this is extra work. And he probably didn't work on the weekends no more because he was working in the warehouse. So he had the audacity to ask for fair compensation for more work, and Darius Cooks gets offended. Again, anytime anyone asks for fair compensation, he feels like that's a slight because it's always supposed to be about him winning financially and getting over on you. It can't be fair and equitable. Anytime you want him to meet you where it's equitable, that's when he's going to cut you off. That's when it's going to be a problem. Might have been in part why he fell out with Krystal too. Let's see what y'all educating me. Thank y'all for this. I appreciate this. Y'all catching me up so I know what I'm looking for. Okay, Darius got offended because Ramon asked for more. Somebody said that they saw Krystal at the kitchen comeback. Yes, I've seen that a couple times, J Rave, but I'm like, y'all know I like receipts and proof. So when things are just like, because it could have been somebody else with swollen ankles and knees who they thought looked like Krystal. If I don't see a actual picture of Krystal in her multicolored outfits looking crazy, I don't know if Krystal was there. That's the only way I'm gonna be like Krystal was actually there. So where's the photo? Where's the proof? Where's the video? But I have heard that she was there. But that doesn't mean that they have made up, because what I know about Darius Cooks is that he really doesn't make up with people. People have to make up with him. Now, when I knew him back in the day, when I knew him when he was 19, when I first met him, it was a little different. But then when I kind of look back, it's like, but he kind of didn't. He had it done through his friends. But I could see Krystal, because Krystal is a normal human being for the most part, except for the fact that she has become, allies with a sociopath. But for the most part, Krystal is a normal human being who has feelings and emotions, who has had a friend. I hope my internet is not acting up. Let me go off Wi-Fi. Sometimes these videos be looking wonky. Krystal has a Krystal was friends with a sociopath, but she's a normal person with normal feelings. She's been friends with the sociopath for over a decade. He cuts her off. I'm sure he cut her off after her standing her ground on something. I'm sure it had something to do with this Three Queens tour, because of the fact that Darius, she was part of the project management piece of it. All of a sudden, she's no longer there, and LaQuinty is in her seat. So clearly it has something to do with that. It also could have also been building up from, we know that her names were on those Airbnbs and Verbo. It finally was proven. We have been saying it for years. He was denying it. She was silent. And then they got outed by an actual Verbo owner, one of the places they trashed. We know that he messed up her good name when it comes to those short-term rentals. We don't know how much else happened behind the scenes. There are some rumors that she even has some connection with some of the stuff happening at the restaurants, with the merchant setup, with the POS systems. Don't know for sure, but that's what I've been hearing. So years of that, and he cuts her off finally. He's done with her. He's done. When he don't need you no more, he's done with you. And he said it himself. He's like a light switch, on and off. There's no halfway. So now he's cut her off, and she's feeling lonely. She's been kicked out of the Flying Monkeys cult, aka D-Hive. She's been excommunicated. She's feeling lonely. And so she shows up at the kitchen comeback on her own, of her own wishes. Darius Cooks probably act like he was too busy, ignore her. And then she probably went home and ain't seen or talked to him since. So I know how he operates, and I understand how a person like Krystal might think we might heal from this. This my buddy. This man, I've been with him through multiple mommy makeovers, giving him soup and juice, watching his stomach skin be laid on a surgery table, all that stuff. She's really been there. Yes, Donna saying, wasn't it a 10+ year friendship? Something like that. Yes. Yes. So I'm not saying she wasn't there. I'm saying, y'all know how I am. Show me the video or the photo, and I'll go with that narrative. I'm going to just say people keep saying. But even if she was there, that does not mean, this is what I want y'all to really know, even if she was there, that does not mean they have made up. That could have been her attempt to reach out and extend the olive branch. But Darius is the spawn of Satan. He is not human. He is human. He bleeds like everybody else. Someday he might find that out. No, stop. But Darius does not have the emotional maturity to exist in relationships the way that the rest of us do. And some of y'all have seen that. Some of y'all still don't get it, but it's true. He is a person, because of the fact that what he's been through in his childhood, developmentally, he's premature. He was a preemie when it comes to emotional development. He's slow. It don't work that way for him. His mommy and daddy issues are real. You see it play out time and time again. Donna saying Darius went on live discussing Ramon and throwing shade, talking about Ramon having a probation officer. Because that's what he does. Remember, now, we've all talked about, it's been talked about in the groups as well, but I've talked about in some of my commentary how Darius Cooks purposefully hires people with who were formerly incarcerated or with issues with the criminal justice system. For one, because I believe, in my opinion, he feels like their moral compass has a lot more room to move than the rest of us. And because of his scampire, he needs people who, when they come on the inside, to be okay with seeing some of the scamation, some of the stuff that's undeniable, the way that he treats the DHAGs, the grifts, the fact that, yes, in fact, many people are ordering and never getting their things, and them knowing that stuff to be true, but they like, but you making money and you paying me well. It's cool with me. That's your grift. On the street, everybody else got their grift. I grew up in this. I get this. This fine. Those are the kind of people he hires. He also hires them because when things go awry, he has something to hold over their head. Also, when things go awry, he gets to say, if they do come out, you gonna believe him? He got a probation officer. He a criminal. He spent 5 years in the pen. You know, he was a thief. See, I was giving him I was trying to give second chances, but you know, he's not a good person. Look at what he did. He got domestic violence charges with his girlfriend, all by design. All by design. Because Darius Cooks himself has yet to have a criminal record. Yet. Catch the words I say. Yet. Have a criminal record. So then when he compares himself to them, criminal record, extensive criminal records, etc., to him, with no criminal record, documented, like we all know the criminal acts, but unfortunately, he has not been convicted yet. It then is like, y'all gonna believe that criminal over me? All by design. All by design. And what does he do when he fires them? Corey, well, he fires Ramon, y'all telling me what he did? I know what he did when he fired Corey a couple weeks ago. What did he do? Talk about all the stuff that Corey ain't did right. And Corey having a domestic situation with his girlfriend. Ran to the internet. We didn't never have to know that. We didn't never have to know his court hearing date. And he talks about he was an HR director, but quick to tell all the business of his employees or contractors. You got to pay attention to these things. Have you seen the prices of his products? 70% off is not even real price. $250 for a Dutch oven. Home goods, $50. Yes, we talk about that all the time. First Lady Brown, you might be a little newer to us. Yes, I've covered that. I've done whole videos on it. We need to revisit it because there's new people and there's more to talk about. But yes, he'll, for those Dutch ovens, I think he pays somewhere around $20, $30 and he charges $200 and some dollars for it. That's why when he creates this drama to have those discount codes, he can discount them so drastically because his markup is like 700-800%. So he got a lot of wiggle room, and that's why he can do 70% off. They don't pay no attention to that. Although many of them you'll see in the chat say, oh, I'm waiting on the next discount code, which means they're waiting on the next drama for him to create a discount code on, so they'll finally buy it. They won't buy his products generally. They won't buy his products unless there's a discount code because they know that those things are overpriced. Ramon backed out because Darius wasn't gonna pay him enough. I could have sworn you posted Darius discussing this. No, I don't. No, I didn't. I didn't because I didn't know Ramon was gone. I like literally not until this last live where I brought it up and then people were saying stuff, but I thought he still was employed. But when I watched the replay, I was like, oh, I think Ramon is gone. I got to find out what happened because I did not know. Ramon wanted more money for the kitchen comeback. Darius accused Ramon of digging in his pockets. Always. Oh my God. If I had the resources, y'all, I would be clipping all this stuff together to show you the many, many, many times Darius Cooks has accused other people of being money hungry, digging in his pockets. It's a mental dysfunction that he has there that literally is something about, I think because he has been homeless, carless, broke, that he doesn't want to ever go there again. And for some, and I don't know, this is kind of a theory. I know he's been those, like that's not speculation. That's true. He's been homeless. He's been carless. He's been unemployed. He's been broke. I know those. I saw him living in that phase of his life. I think because he has been there, he never wants to go there again because he felt worthless. But the other piece of it is that for some reason, when people want their fair compensation, he feels like they're taking from him, and maybe it's going to put him back there if he gives, because he's not a giver. He is not a giver at all. Every once in a while, you'll see him do something for social media purposes. You might see him tip somebody an extra $100 or something. But when he does that, he's going to be sure to take a picture of it and post it on social media. And I'm sure he charges it back as well later. But he is not a giver. I'm like, Christmas time comes, the holidays come. This man's supposed to be a multi-millionaire, always bragging about how much money he got, literally daily. He brags about how much money he has and how successful he is. And to his followers, he don't do no kind of giveaways. He don't get him that $9 skillet that he charges $100 for. He don't give one of those away free. He don't do no, gifting to a family in need. None of it. None of it. Right. Did he say he was drunk and high? Yep, he absolutely did. I'm gonna read y'all last few questions or comments, and then we're gonna get on out of here so I can get ready for tonight. Fair ain't given fair with him unless it's on his terms. Yeah, absolutely. And he must always be the person who is winning. She was there. I saw a photo in the group. Oh, okay, good. Okay, thank you, Jackie. So that means that I can find the photo of what color did she have on, or colors. Kiss the rainbow. Take a bite out of the rainbow. Krystal was his right-hand girl. Yes. She did a lot of behind-the-scenes dirt, too, for him. Just love your commentary on Darius Cooks. Too funny. Thank you so much, Ophelia. A human with horse teeth. Yeah, I saw that even on the dating show. You know, a lot of people like, oh, them teeth are nice. Da da da. I'm like, yeah, you can have them too. If you go to Colombia, you can get them teeth too. I'm surprised she's still friends with him on Instagram. See what Sandy, what y'all got to understand is that if it was, this is Darius Cooks' toxicity. The people, Darius Cooks is very inept at, not inept, he is very good at finding loyal, kind-hearted, generally good people that he creates relationships with. He's a predator. He's good at sifting out good-hearted people. As much as I talk about Krystal, have talked about Krystal, the jokes, the this, the da 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 da, I know at the heart of heart, at the core, that Krystal herself is not an evil person. Krystal is a person who has attached herself to someone who is an evil person, but she has been loved bombed by them. She's fallen in love with Darius Cooks, and there are benefits that come with being as close to Darius Cooks as she was. There were some benefits. All the food that she could eat, trips here or there. I guess he's paying for some of them, I guess. The being a part of the cult, the the hives. She was a part of that. She got to be a part of that community, and not only a part of it, but she was literally at the top of the pyramid of the scam, the cult rather. So all of these things come with that, and who doesn't like a good trip, some food rather. The fact that she gets to be known just because the core people who know Darius Cooks, they also know of Krystal. However, she finally decided that she needed recognition, just compensation, or he felt in his mind that he no longer needed her for whatever reason. I do know that Darius Cooks never respected Krystal. That I know for a fact. I've heard many stories behind the scenes of people who know them, knew them both. Horrible things that he said about her that you would never say about your friend. He treated her like ish at times. We saw that on camera as well. So he never really respected her, but he had a need for her. He needed her for those Airbnbs. He needed her for his to be kind of his motherly figure when they both lived in, because he lived in Atlanta and she does too. She was helping to take care of him at times with the mommy makeovers, etc. He moved to Houston. Now she's not able to be that for him. So she's not needed in that way. The Dining with Darius Cooks events are over. She's not needed in that way. The 3 Queens tour was starting. There could be a possibility that she wasn't as confident as what they needed with all the roadblocks they were hitting. He said they called 59 places to only get one to accept them having an event there. So there's no telling what was happening behind the scenes there. So he had no need for her. The end of that relationship, I guarantee you, now maybe not the fight, who knows, but the end of that relationship was due to Darius Cooks' cold-heartedness. So it could be that it caught, as it does, I'll just say this, as it does most people, caught Krystal off guard. Oh my God, he turned on me. So she may not be ready to accept it and may be reaching out or was trying to do things to mend it, hoping that this is temporary, etc. Right, Deborah. Krystal called them venues. Exactly. I feel the same way. And now LaQuinty is taking credit for calling all 59. This started with Krystal. She was a part of the team for the 3 Queens tour. So that's what I believe. In summary, I believe, based on experience, that this relationship came to a complete end, most likely due to Darius's cold-heartedness. He's told his D-hags many times that he cuts people off. There's no gray for him. It's black and white, on or off. And when he's done, he's done. I have seen him do it time and time and time again. Not only, I can say this, when I knew him from dating relationships, to friendships, to, and back then I didn't know that he was the cause of all of it. I was on the other side. I was in the Krystal category, the way she was, not now, the way she was. That's why I was forewarning Krystal. Those of y'all who've been watching me for the 2 years or whatever I've been talking about this sociopath, y'all know I've been telling for almost from day one, Krystal, your day is coming. I told her, this man is literally a sociopath. And he literally has a pattern that he can't even break himself because it's so ingrained in him. That's why I'm able to predict his moves. That's why I'm able to tell y'all, oh, he's going to create a menu and something going to be on the stick because he considers that elevated. What the hell happened? You got Hennessy chicken on a stick at a $400 event. I don't be guessing my way around this. So, yeah, I think that Krystal may have showed up to the comeback kitchen, but I believe she showed up as extending an olive branch, maybe he ignoring her, being cold toward her or whatever. And she felt like this is my way to show, you know, that I'm here for him, that I love him still, blah, blah, blah. The only way he'll ever take her back even a little bit is if he still needed something from her. And now he's at a level that he feels like, well, for one, he's about to be traveling from Houston to Bali. You know, all he's caring about is, you know, stuffing his face with food tours and getting him a new videographer. Krystal out of there. He ain't got no time for Krystal. Yes, he is slow. He's stunted emotionally. That's a great way. Thank you. I couldn't come up with my words, but he is stunted emotionally. Darius Cooks is stunted emotionally from his childhood trauma. It really does mean a lot when you can't get the love from your mother and father. I do believe his mother loved him, probably still loves him, but from his own dysfunction, I think it wasn't I would love to have known his father. I truly believe he probably got a lot of this personality dysfunction from his father. Just even knowing about his father. His father was a street guy. Father, I forgot how he died though. I wish I hadn't forgot that. But father was a street guy. Darius Cooks saw him a handful of times. Man had a bunch of kids. Papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he left his head was his home. And when he died, all he ever left us was a scammer. I didn't know how I was going to close that out. But anyway, Darius Cooks has that level of dysfunction. So a father who he wanted to be connected to but never could be, left him sitting on a porch stoop, never showing up. Then he got a mama who they were close at times. But then the mama was really kind of chasing after men. Darius felt like he was neglected when his mama would be dating men. Then she ended up marrying a man who didn't care for Darius. He probably saw the sociopathic, narcissistic behavior in this teenager. And, you know, there was all kind of issues there. And then Darius Cooks also lost who he claims to be basically the love of his life, which was his grandmother. It would be interesting to hear her version. I wish we could call her up from heaven. But it'd be interesting to hear her version of how this all went down. But he claims that she was his everything. And he lost her. So you got to keep in mind, his foundation in this world was his mama, his daddy, and his grandma. 2 of them dead. 2 of them dead. Now let me stop. 2 of them are gone. His mama is the only one who's here. And he claims he doesn't deal with her. I remember there was dysfunction way back in the day when I knew them. But I just can't remember the details. It may come back to me one day, but it always felt like he would say things about her that didn't quite 100% match up because when I would meet her, but now I know like that he lies on people and he creates a narrative, but I don't know. It always seemed like she was trying to be a mama to him. And she had his 2 younger siblings who she was a good mama to. And they still to this day have a relationship with their mama. And, she has grandchildren and she spends time with them. And I'm like, but this ain't matching up to the neglectful mama he talking about. It's just not, I don't know. Yes, you said he posted recently on his page that he doesn't even have a relationship with his mom. Yeah, I even have a clip, one of the lives from a while back. One day I'll be able to go through these hundreds of thousands of hours of footage. But I have a big plan. There's y'all, when y'all see what's coming down the line. Oh, I can see the end. I can see the end. When y'all see it, y'all gonna be like, Vell, you did that. You can retire right now. Just retire, Vell. Your work is done here. Lord, call him home. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't have Lord call me home. But my work is gonna be so great. You're gonna be like, oh, this is your legacy. It's already percolating. I'm like, oh yeah, that's my legacy right here. Anyway, yes. So he also in them videos multiple times, his IG lies. He has definitely said that he doesn't have a relationship with his mom. He said that he wouldn't even go to her funeral, but he would pay for it. I don't even believe he's going to pay for it. I don't believe that. I think he said that part to make it a little softer of a blow to the flying monkeys. Yes, Precious. Some kids are just born evil. True. They just have it in them. First Lady Brown is saying he keeps coming up with different things. It's okay to chill and apologize, rebuild your life, then start over. First Lady Brown, friend, yes, I'm 100% agreement with you. However, I was saying this about him. What was that? Back in 2009. Was that 2009? About 2009, maybe 2010, something like that. I was literally saying these same words, and I was holding out hope and thought that eventually that's what would happen. And when I knew he had stuff going on, I didn't follow his ass. When I knew he had stuff going on, I was hoping that he had gotten himself together and turned away from his evil ways. And then fast forward, 2021, I become aware of all of what's happening now. And what had happened between 2010 or whatever in that time period. And I was like, oh my God, you are kidding me. This fool just got way worse than what he was when he scammed us in Chicago. Tanya, the Krystal replacement is going to be gone in a minute. I think she'll cut Crooks loose before he cuts her loose. I don't know about that part, because what happens, I mean, yes, she won't be around forever. I'm pretty sure of that. However, this is how Darius Cooks gets people now, is through his money and his popularity, because he's a known figure. I watched it even in, again, that dating thing. I watched the show all the time. They're never that nice, but they were just so enamored with, he said he got money. They could tell that people follow him because the chat numbers went up. They, were impressed by his chiclet, porcelain toilet teeth, all of that. And everything else went out the window. And so that's what happens with people like LaQuinty and a Ramon and a Krystal. And you can just go down the list. This is how he attracts those people. And they hold on to the bitter end because they keep holding out hope that they too are going to benefit at a level near or equal to Darius Cooks. And it never happens. Dylan H., why are you spamming my chat talking about some Wendy show? Because we talked about that already. Rewind. Scamation. Yes. Did I say that? I mean, just talking something. I don't even know what be coming out of my mouth. Do y'all think he's gonna take money from the tour and run to Bali? He's okay. So Bali is his exit strategy. His Russell Simmons strategy. Them fools over there still ain't realized that he's doing a Russell Simmons. He now has a game plan that if and when it comes down from the FBI or whoever else, the FBI, when it comes down on him, his ass running right over there to Bali. That's why he's setting up his house there. They thinking, oh, it's cheap, it's tropical, it's peaceful, it's this, it's that. He say there is no crime. Lies. They thinking that's why. No, he's setting up shop in a place he can run to and run from ever being convicted for his crimes. Hiding in plain sight. hiding in plain sight. He did it. You got to keep in mind his track record. He got caught up in Chicago scamming. This was when he was a baby scammer. He was learning the ropes. Got it caught up in Chicago. You know, things were going haywire. Everything was catching up with him. His fake success of the bakery, people were realizing that wasn't true. The food truck, the fakeness of the food truck, the Uptown Pies, the cupcake gallery investors were starting to come after him. Then he had the fake Fresh Go food delivery. Those people were starting to come after him. All that stuff was coming down on him. He ups and runs away in the middle of the day where everybody at work, packs his car full of whatever he could fit in there, and drives to, he said he was going to Philly to get Philly cheesesteaks, and ended up, he said, missed a turn, and ended up in New York, and decided to stay there, got a job 4 days later, and never turned back. That don't even make sense. When you have to come back and get your clothes, your furniture, you had a roommate in Chicago, how you just disappear? And no, he was running. Again, this is how he twists the narrative. So he ran off to New York to get away from all the people who were coming down on him in Chicago. Then New York, now this is just what I heard. Now, Chicago, I can tell y'all for a fact I was there. New York, what I hear, if I've heard, is that basically his scams there caught up with him too, and he ran to Georgia. Georgia is what we pick up again because it's all pretty much documented. We know that he was in Georgia, setting up shop. He grew, all that stuff. Scams caught up with him. Now it's national though. Everybody know. It ain't just the cities that he's in and his core followers who know. It's the actual public that knows. Gets his bakery shut down. The Trap Bakery gets shut down. The state of Georgia takes his business license, sues him for above 701 credit card scam. Credit repair scam. Also takes his business license to Soul Crab Atlanta. He then ends up closing all the restaurants because I'm sure he was finagling money and didn't have enough to run them without finagling the money between them. Then he runs to Houston. He was talking about Florida. For some reason, he ended up in Houston. Now he's in Houston, and he knows he's going to F that up too. He probably got another grift planned. He's going to F that up too. And by the time that catches up with him, now he has Bali. Chicago, New York, Atlanta, Houston, Bali. He's on the run. That's the title of the thumbnail. You just gave it to me. I think I titled one that before. On the run. He's on the run. But he again is a social media influencer who is good at curating a story of I'm so successful, because it's not outside of the realm of belief that a person would become successful enough to want to have properties out of the country in various places when you can. But why Bali? Why a place where extradition to the U.S. for your crimes is not possible? Things that make you say, why? Because he loves Mexico. Talks about that more than any place. Puerto Rico, that's the U.S. Why Bali? Y'all got to pay attention to this scammer. Oh, he's on it. Who has a girlfriend? He has a girlfriend. Are you talking about Corey? Wait, I don't know. Who's that about Leslie? Leslie? Is that Leslie or Leslie? Who's that he? Who the he you're referring to? Because Darius Cooks don't have no girlfriend. Ain't never had no girlfriend. Don't like women parts. Corey, the bartender, does not have a girlfriend. Claims to be a straight man, but we have not seen evidence of that. And then Corey, the videographer, did get into a domestic situation with his girlfriend. So I don't know who the he is. And I don't know about Ramon's love life. Precious is saying he messed up Krystal's credit score. No, credit. She saw Velle's video with the owner and was like, I gotta leave this dude alone finally. Yeah, I believe that I don't believe that she left him. I believe that she may have, asked for maybe this, who knows, the money this woman wants. Maybe she's suing or something. And she like, well, could you pay this bill this $5K that this woman want. Can you pay it? Because it's in my name. And he like, I ain't asked you to put it in your name. You knew when you was doing that. Like, that's how he rolled. You knew when you was doing that you're responsible, you know, that kind of stuff. So it could have been from that. Who knows? Again, if any of y'all close enough to Krystal, get her to talk. Or at least she ain't got to talk. She can just tell the story and let it get out. She ain't got to get on camera, nothing. Yeah, he loves to talk about his staff having records. Yeah, that's all about design, y'all. It's to bring down their moral character and their character so that when they fall out, because they will, he can always make it look like he is the victim. These criminals, y'all know, I be trying to give people second chance, and y'all see what they do to me. They only after the money. Vel, can you read Jerome's email again from the other night live? That was so funny. Gina Turner, the great part about YouTube and the YouTube videos and the hundreds of them that I've done is that you can rewatch them, sweetheart. Because the truth be told, I don't enjoy repeating myself. It's too much. But I thank you, friend. I appreciate you. It was fun to do. Now, I don't really feel like doing it again, but it was fun to do. But please rewatch it. It actually helps my views and all that stuff anyway. So rewatch it, friend. Damn, not a scampire. Yes, it's a scampire. It's a whole scampire. He talked about Ramon in the group. Okay, good. I'm glad y'all. Thank you, Jackie, for update. You and I think it was Don too. Thank y'all for really updating me. So now I know what I'm looking for. Oh my God, he's delusional. Very, very. I think Darius has a lot of new followers as of late. Yeah, what happens is when he gets in certain drama, he gets an influx of followers. That's not strange. It's been happening literally since I started paying attention to him in 2021. He'll get an influx of followers from drama, people who don't know, and then they only see his part. Yes, he's entertaining. Also, Darius Cooks is loved by the algorithm, meaning these platforms, and you know how they push out content. He's loved by them, by the algorithm, because he constantly puts content out. He goes live on his IG lives no less than 2 to 5 times per day, Monday through Sunday. And then on top of that, he's posting every day. He posts his stories every day, a reel every day, and some random posts usually. And then, of course, maybe some drama if he has some. Doxing somebody, cyberbullying, calling some other creator out, even though they're doing the same thing he's been doing, but he's trying to make himself look innocent. When he posted about what's the name of the turkey leg hut, posted about them not paying their employees. Dude, you've had the same story out there. Why are you posting about that? Like you're innocent. So he does those sort of things. And he does them on all these platforms. And so these platforms love him and they continue to push his stuff out. And that's what helps him gain new followers of people who aren't aware of all the stuff that we are aware of. Because all they're aware of now is the new stuff. That's why I got to keep repeating these stories. That's why, and then the group, but even like the exposed groups, everyone doesn't have access to it. It's a private group, and they kicked out a lot of people recently. I was like, I thought it was 5,000 some people, almost 6,000. Then it was like 2,000, I think. I was like, where everybody go? Hello, where y'all go? So they're very private. They're very much so like we protect the energy, the space, etc. And so there aren't a lot of places you can go to get this information on Darius Cooks and who he really is. And then the bloggers who cover from time to time, most of them, again, cover from time to time. Most of them don't really even know the full story. So they kind of cover the salacious pieces that make people think it's more just about beefing. So it's a whole thing, y'all. Right. Even Whitney is saying, go to Lipstick Alley. Lipstick Alley has an archive of information on Darius Cooks and some bullshit, but they have an archive of stuff on Darius Cooks. And the problem is most people don't read. That's not, it's great. It's beautiful, but most people not reading that. They not finna try. Most people don't even know who Lipstick Alley is. Many people I'd be like, oh, Lipstick Alley, huh? What's that? So it's like you got to look for this stuff about Darius Cooks. Whereas his content is just in your face constantly. It's just there. It's just coming to you. The algorithm pushing it. That is the way that the exposing information should be. It should be free and out there for everyone to see. The only thing is, over back in 2021, when he was really being exposed, there were people who had their Instagram pages and all those things, and they worked to get those things shut down. I think it's so many people now that, it'd be a lot harder for them to do that. But thank you so much for the reminder. Please hit that thumbs up button, share this live stream, and subscribe if you're new to this channel. It'd be greatly appreciated. There's much more to come with this topic and many, many others. And also, liking this video is completely free to you, but it is very valuable to me. So it'd be greatly appreciated. Tanya is saying, I didn't know he was still cooking live. Yes. So now that the Dining with Darius Cooks events are over, he has gone to cooking pretty much daily. Again, he understands social media. He is hitting that algorithm every day with some content. And so now he's doing his cooking lives almost Monday through Friday. And sometimes twice, sometimes in the morning, sometimes in the evening. So, yes. They give to receive trust. Yeah. He canceled an upcoming trip because the videographer chose to replace Corey was nickel and diming him. Drew Fizzle. So I heard that as well. But here's the thing. That's Darius Cooks' version, that the videographer was nickel and diming him. He's always, again, this is just another example. Ramon trying to nickel and dime him. Excuse me, let him tell it. Danny Rose, aka Stovetop Kisses. The reason that fell out and he stole her business because she was trying to nickel and dime him. Like, if you let him tell him, me and my friend who was his best friend, who was Darius Cooks' best friend from high school, they had known each other over a decade by the time all this went down. He said both me and the other friend, were trying to get over on him financially. Furthest thing from the truth. I believe in being fair and equitable. Me and the other friend are still friends. We've even done business things since then. Everybody is after his money or after money. But yet he gets on a dating show and the first thing he says, I made $500,000 to date as of this month. And every day he's reminding y'all that he's a millionaire. Every day. Who's really money hungry? So I take that with a grain of salt. I believe that videographer was asking for just and fair compensation. They might have been a little older than Corey, because Corey was so, what was he, 22, 23 or something, young, impressionable. He just happened to be traveling. He's like, who can say he posting? Who could say they getting to travel to 4-5 countries this year, blah, 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 this and that. He's impressed by that. Again, that's what I'm telling y'all. The people who are around and attached to Darius Cooks are enamored with the perception of wealth, because he ain't as wealthy as he claims. The perception of wealth, being the proximity of being close to someone who is known, popular, public figure, and then the benefit that comes with that. They become known on a level that they weren't before. That is what people are attracted to. And hopefully in their minds, one day being able to get close to or at the level that Darius Cooks claims to be at. They're all impressed by it. The smoke and mirrors, the illusion of it all. Ramon wanted more money for the kitchen comeback, and the other chef, Darren, ignored Darius' text when he asked him to help with the kitchen. See, okay, y'all really catching me up. I did not know that. I was assuming that when the kitchen comeback happened, I assumed that Ramon and Darren, I didn't know about Darren because I know Darren has his own, stuff going on with the justice system. But I was assuming that that Ramon was back there in that kitchen that whole time, because he didn't really show who was back there in the kitchen. At least I didn't see it. The love of the love of money that he has definitely has a psychological effect on him. Absolutely. It's his value, it's his worth. But I think it has become his worth. When I knew Darius Cooks, the last probably year or so of knowing him, this started to form, what y'all seeing. As far as the money hungry, he started saying, what did he say? It's business, not personal. I think was what this term, the phrase he started saying like often. And I'm like, what? Like, what is this? What is this? Because our situation ain't never been, it's always just been cool. And he wasn't cheap necessarily or any. Well, I just didn't have any of these issues. Like, he was not this person, but it started to become like this. So something again shifted in him. But I do believe that I definitely think it's based in some of his childhood for sure. I think that's a big part of it. But I also think knowing, and I only knew from a friend perspective of what he was going through when he was living on Kingston and he started baking the cupcakes. He had lost his job in payroll and he was living in this apartment that I had to lie to help him get. Like he put my phone number down and my business information for me to be the verification for him to get that apartment. So he gets this apartment, and within months, I don't even think it was that long, month or two or whatever, he loses his job. Then he's completely unemployed and lost at what to do because Darius Cooks got fired very often during the time I knew him. He was constantly getting fired. He had a job, I don't know, 6 months, 8 months, a year, something like that. And then next thing you know, getting fired. So I knew he was depressed. I knew he was trying to figure things out. I know a couple times I went over, he would be like, wasn't getting out of the bed, all those sort of things. But I don't think I really knew how deep it was. And I think in that time frame, something snapped in his mind where he was like, I can't live like this anymore. And it was like, by any means necessary, I will have money. And I guess because if you look at it, he didn't have the family. Like, he ain't got his daddy, he ain't got his mama, he ain't got his, he didn't have his grandmother. He didn't have that foundation of people who kind of hold us down. And so I believe that he felt like that money was the only thing that he could depend on in that moment. Right, Jay Sims is saying, by hook or crook. And so during that time frame is when he started doing the Millionaire by 30 blog. And we got this, and I've actually had it in my intro and everything. And he does a video where he talks about, he declares and decrees that by the age of 30, he will be a millionaire. And then he goes through how he has this plan, and he talks about these business ventures. And one of them was the Cupcake Gallery, where he was trying to get investors. And then he started getting investors. It started from him baking cupcakes in the house. And then the other stuff, I ain't gonna go too deep. I believe during that time is when it shifted, because the Darius I knew prior to that and the Darius I knew after he decided that he had to be an entrepreneur and had to become a millionaire by 30. And I don't even think I was clued into this millionaire by 30 idea. I didn't watch his blog. I wasn't a fan. I was always a friend, like a real person in his life. So like y'all friends, y'all don't be dialing into what they doing at work every day and watching their jobs, social media activity. Like, y'all don't care. Like, that's not what y'all relationship is about. So that was kind of how it was with us. We had conversations about some of the business ideas, etc. And I thought some of it was like, okay, that's fine, that's great, but that's a lot at once kind of thing. Anyway, he went down that road, and I believe that was the shift of when relationships meant nothing to him, and by hook or crook, like, it was all money first for him. And then our relationship, within a year or two of that, is when he scammed us, and that ended our relationship. I'm not sure. I do believe that even if he hadn't scammed me, eventually our relationship would have ended. Friendship would have ended because of who he became. Because I would have never been friends with a person like this. First Lady Brown says, didn't he buy the people in line at the pizza place in Brooklyn? didn't he buy people in line at the pizza place in Brooklyn for being rude to them? Darius Cooks, I don't know if you're trying to, I don't know if this came along with me saying he never gives to people, because I'm still sticking with that, even with this statement. Yes, he did, in fact, pay for the pizza of 4 people, 3 to 4 people who were in front of him, although there were like 20-something people there. He paid in for the 3 to 4 people who were in front of him. It wasn't about them. Again, it's never about other people. So I don't really consider this giving. I consider this using your wealth to get what you want. And although it ain't even like he bought pizza for 3 to 4 people, most of us could do that. So he paid for those people in front of him because he was tired of waiting and wanted to get to the front of the line. So he paid for their food so that he could hurry up and order. It wasn't about them. It was about him getting his order quicker. And on top of that, it was also about him flexing because he had just got his American Express card and he had to let everybody know he had one. And he's, how much do I need to pay with my American Express Platinum card to move this line along, kind of thing. That wasn't real. Value, you're being gracious. That clown is just greedy and selfish. Was I being gracious with anything with Crooks? I don't know. I don't know what I might have been saying in that moment. I don't think I hold back with Crooks. Do I hold back with Crooks? Let me ask a poll. Let me do the poll. I don't know. Maybe we need Vel Nito. Do I hold back with Crooks? I don't know how to work this, but with Crooks topics. So when I'm speaking about Crooks, do y'all feel like I hold back? I'm just curious. You can generally tell when people are giving from their heart. Oh, absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. That was a trip to Korea. Oh, he canceled some trip. Yeah, I don't know. He got so much going on. I also noticed that Darius doesn't do actual live cooking demos in front of a real live audience. He's probably scared people would ask him questions. He doesn't know what he's doing. A little bit of that, a little bit, but the truth is, and this is the piece that people don't get because they're fooled by the fact that he's on his IG lives every day. He seems very personable and, humorous and all of these other things, comedic. The truth of the matter is, Don, Darius Cooks does not like his followers. He don't like them. He likes what they provide for him, but he does not like those women. And so him being in front of an audience means he got to interact with them more. And y'all, some people might say, that ain't true. You lying because he had them dining with Darius Cooks events. Pay attention to how they go. He spends most of his time in the kitchen. He brings out the food. He announces each course, was, because it's over now. But he would announce each course, what was coming, do his whole regular old script. I ain't bringing y'all nothing. This ain't nothing. Just a little cornbread with a little collard greens mixed with a little watermelon chow with a little citrus punch on it, with a little Kool-Aid sangria made by my own hands. Nothing much. Like, so he's giving that whole little diatribe. And then he goes, the food comes out, and then the next course, and then the next course. And so he repeat and rinse on that. So he's not hanging out with them when that's happening. He's not sitting at the tables. Then once all the courses have been served, he then goes from table to table for a few minutes, spits out what he wants to spit out. Most of what they're talking about, he ain't give a goddamn about. Then he does the signing of the books, and he does that in the corner by himself. And then he'll take a picture with the people. And then as they're still mingling, he darts off into his private quarters of the Airbnb and gets on IG Lives with his flying monkeys. That ain't somebody who is really loving and enjoying being around their fans. And even if you pay attention to the Q&A that we just did, we watched the Q&A party for the Three Kings tour. He said, you're going to have he's going to have a rope with stanchions. That LaQuinty is going to provide a rope with stanchions to keep people away from him, and that he ain't going to be taking pictures all night. It's basically the only people who are going to be guaranteed to get pictures are the people who pay $400, the VIPs. Again, they pay $300. I understand it's not $400, but it's $300. And he's already like, there's going to be a rope, and ain't no guarantee that any of the rest of y'all going to ever get a picture with me. He don't. So they'll be on a stage or however they got it set up where they're going to be on their mic, get a little words. But those people are not going to be around Darius Cooks like that. He don't like him like that. I have been around and heard what he said, and this was in his beginning days, so he ain't never liked y'all. He like y'all money. He like y'all loving on him, and he enjoys love bombing y'all, but he don't like y'all. I understand that's hard concept for y'all to grasp, but it's true. Pay attention to all the bitches and hoes he calls y'all and stupid and non-thinking, and the way that he downgrades y'all. He tells y'all how he really feel about y'all. Y'all ignore that and y'all, you're so funny, master. Oh, you're so funny. I know you love us. No, he don't. Love your mama, your money, and your daddy. No. Please cover the Carly Russell trial that begins on March 18th. Thanks. I thought she wasn't going to trial. I thought she pled guilty. Hold on. Who's it? V. Warren. Thank you for this, because I thought that. Let me look this up. Did y'all know this? Carly Russell? Oh, she's appealing. Jury trial date set for Carly Russell's appeal on fake Hoover abduction. Okay, we gotta talk about this tonight then, y'all. Hold on, let me add this to so I don't forget, because I'll say that and then forget by the time tonight comes. All right, y'all, hold on. Thank you for that. Who's that again? V. Warren, thank you. This is what I be talking about. Give me something I can work with, people. Give me something I need, something we actually talk about. Not no Martell from Huntsville. No sociopathic ex-husband. Or I should say narcissistic, maybe. I don't know. I don't follow him like that. Carly Russell. I did not know this. I thought that was over and done with, friend. I keep typing trail instead of trial. Okay. Thank you for that. Right. I don't think he respects women, period. Alice, you are a great writer. So I want to correct you in your typo. You put here, I don't think he respects women, period. This statement should say, he doesn't respect women, period. He doesn't. It's a fact. Right. He doesn't respect anyone. Krystal called. Right, Krystal, I said that one before. I ain't got way far behind, I think, because I saw some other comments I was waiting to get to, and I still ain't got to them. When I first saw Darius, there was something about him that didn't set well for me. He just looked crooked. Yeah. First Lady Brown is saying, where did LaQuinty come from? She seems like an airhead. I don't know about that part. I don't know about her seeming like an airhead. She definitely seems like she's been love bombed and feels, I don't know. She's like she ain't using her discernment. That's what it sounds like. But LaQuinty is Jeremy's best friend from what I've been hearing. And so Jeremy is the Sippy Cake King, as he calls himself. And so he's a part of the three kings, three queens. And so that's his friend. That's what I've heard. Closing out this poll, do I hold back on the Crooks topics? 21% of you still think I do. That's interesting. 78% of you, 79 is jumping around a little bit, think that I don't. Wow. Let me know what I hold back on, though. I mean, interesting. But let me know, for the 21% of you, what do you want me to talk about more or say, or like, what is that? What is that? I felt like I don't really hold back. Now I should do Vel Nito hold back. Right, Deborah. He shows you who he is. Pay attention. People gotta have their discernment turned on. Oh, this is one of the comments I wanted to get to, this next one. But yeah, people have to have their discernment cued in and turned on when watching Darius Cooks. If you're just watching from a kind of normal way you might look at content on you really should have your discernment always going when watching anything at this point in life, because there's so much craziness out here, and especially social media. But if you're not looking with your third eye, you will think, oh, he funny, oh, he entertaining, oh, it looked like he can cook, and everything he cooked looks like it's good, because he always like, ooh, this so good. Is he gonna ever say, oh my God, this is disgusting? No, he's advertising. Hello. People kill me with that. Oh my God, every time he eat his food is so good. Is he gonna ever say my ish is bad? He's burnt stuff on camera and overcooked and undercooked things, mentioned that it was wrong because you couldn't deny it, and then said it was good. Anyway, Julie says, Vel, do you think that he and Dr. Bobby will ever fall out? I don't know. I don't know the nature of their friendship. I've never known of the Dr. Bobby guy. I think he met him in New York. Darius is impressed by people who he feels are intelligent and more intelligent than him, even though he'll never admit that part. So I think that might be the connection with him and Dr. Bobby, that he feels like Dr. Bobby is actually more intelligent. Again, he'll never admit it. So it makes him have a certain level of respect for him. Supposedly, Dr. Bobby has the last will and testament. He knows how everything should go. Now, that's the word on the street. I'm not sure how true that is, but people are saying that he is the person that when Scampa finally takes his last breath, Dr. Bobby will know what to do. Yeah, I don't know enough about that situation. I just feel like Dr. Bobby is in a safe bubble with Crooks. From the little bit that I do know, I feel like he's in a safe bubble with Crooks. And as long as he never gets into business with Crooks, because he's okay with all the shenanigans and all, like Dr. Bobby reminds me of how my relationship was with Crooks years ago. The difference is Darius Cooks wasn't evil like he is today. People didn't like him, don't get me wrong, and he did stuff to people, but I wasn't privy to it. Dr. Bobby has seen all that we see, and he ignores it and has in some way reconciled that it's okay. So he's okay with seeing who Crooks is. As long as it doesn't become personal and get done to Dr. Bobby, I think he'll stay around. And I don't believe anything will change that dynamics as long as they don't get in business together, because they don't have that connection. So yeah, I'll just say this. As long as they don't get in business together or have any money dealings, Dr. Bobby will probably stay around because he's okay with Darius Cooks being the spawn of Satan. And I don't know what that says about him as a human. He could be just very naive, have lack of discernment, or just feel like it ain't me. Or he could feel sorry for Crooks. Like, oh, this man don't have no mama, no daddy, no grandma. And I know all the trauma in his life. And I know he's a tortured soul. And so I feel sorry for him. Like, it's people like that. So again, I don't know. I don't know enough about Dr. Bobby to say much more than that. Henny on a stick. Right. Henny on a stick. Right. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Right. Not my theme song. Not my Darius Cooks theme song. Okay. That was one of the questions I definitely wanted to get to. I feel like there was one or two others, but how long we been on? Oh yeah, two. These supposed to be an hour. All right, y'all. I think that's about it. Wait, here's one though. A lot of people have fathers that weren't around, and we ain't acting like that. Yeah, true. I agree 1,000,000% with you, friend. And everybody deals with things differently and all of that. So I agree. Oh, here's First Lady Brown, I think, commenting on my poll. I cook very well, and I was part of the 21%. I think Vel doesn't say everything out of the little respect of a friendship they once had. No shade to him, just understand. I don't know. I don't really respect him like that. I don't get it. I don't know what else I'm supposed to say. I literally have called him almost every name in the book. Yeah, I mean, I don't have no respect for him. Like none, like zero. I have literally had to compartmentalize. Now, if you watch the beginning videos from when I first started reporting on him back in 2021, I was still processing. There was a little bit of a grieving period because of the person I knew, the crooks, the Darius Williams, because I didn't even know him as Darius Cooks. That Darius Cooks name didn't come to years later. We weren't even friends or associating with each other when that name came around. So I only knew him as Darius Williams, or DTW is what we called him in our friend group. That was a person, and that was a person I had an idea of, experience with, and who I thought he was. This Darius Cooks character is so different from who I thought he was, and has become such a... All the bad parts of the Darius Williams that I knew got balled into this Darius Cooks character, and the worst of it, and it grew. It was just seeds of evil, and it grew. So I look at them like almost as two different people. The Darius Williams I knew a decade ago, unfortunately, they passed away. Like, that's how I had to deal with it. They gone. They dead and gone. Then you have this character, Darius Cooks, aka Darius Crooks, who I cover as content. I don't care. Like, I have no association to them. Like, mentally, I just have none. So that's why I'm like, I don't feel like I hold back, because there is no respect. There is no, oh, but we were friends. No, I don't know that evil bitch. I don't know her. I don't associate with spawns of Satan. My spirit is clean. So that's why I'm a little lost. Like, I don't know. I can call her every name, literally every name in the book. I've outed pretty much everything. Pretty much. Like, anything that I haven't said would be just like too much for TV kind of thing. I've watched every last one of his videos, Vels. I just never commented. Well, I'm glad you're commenting, friend. Definitely. I welcome more of your comments. I appreciate that. It's great when people come out of the bushes, because you get to know, who's actually watching and all that stuff. I enjoy that. I love that. You might be saved, Vel. Christians can't be totally mean. I mean, there is a part of me. Yes. Okay. I'll go with that. Cause I could. Okay. Now, if I really, really think about it, I could go harder with his childhood, and say some things. Yeah, I could. And I have purposefully not really gone there, because I also have to be mindful of other people who've had life experiences, etc., that could be parallel to this. And I never want them to think I'm attacking it. I'm really just attacking him and who he decided to become. So yes, in that way, okay, yeah, I'll go with that. First Lady Brown, it's a running gag I do. And Vel does go in very well. Watch all the previous videos. Yeah, I mean, I've sometimes I'm like, woo. Actually, I've gotten messages before. I've had some people I'm like, I've had to stop communicating, because I'm like, you can't produce my show. That you can't do. You're not gonna produce my show. So yeah, I've learned. Even I've had family members like, are you afraid to say what you be saying about? Hell no, that punk bitch. And I've said it, like, that punk bitch, I ain't scared of her. I know how much of a bitch he is. Like, in real life, I know how much of a bitch he is. He might be big, tall, burly, and walrus built, but she's a bitch at the end of the day. That I know for a fact. She told y'all if a man hits her, she's gonna fall to the ground in a fetal position and scream for help. She's a bitch. The fake E-class story out of Miami. She says that he snatched her phone from her and she screamed and called the FBI. and wanted her phone dusted for fingerprints. She is a bitch. She is as bitchy as they come. So no, I am not afraid of her. And I don't feel like I hold back, but I hold back out of respect for society. So in that way, yes. And then, you know, again, for TV. So I can't go too gutter. I could, and I would, and I have in conversations, but I would not do it on YouTube. So in that way, okay, yes, but it's YouTube. That's partially why. So that could be what you're talking about. It's YouTube. I can only go so far. Why do you think Darius Cooks' crimes and scams haven't gotten a bigger response outside of the black circles? Unfortunately, friend Brando Soul, Black lives don't quite matter the way that we know they matter. Like, we're still trying to prove that Black lives matter is really the answer to that. It's really the answer to that. I watched, there's a documentary on YouTube, not YouTube, Netflix, Twin Flames. I don't know if y'all seen it. Did you see, hold on. I'm supposed to be getting off here. Have you seen the Twin Flames on Netflix? Have you seen Twin Flames? Not the Twin Flames. Ignore all the typos, whatever. Let me fix this stuff. Have you seen Twin Flames on Netflix? So it's a documentary about a guy who literally decided that he wanted to become a cult leader. And he started it as pretty much a dating situation, helping people find their soulmates. And it just kind of grew into a complete cult of them controlling these people's minds, having people changing their genders, having people excommunicate themselves from their parents, convincing people that they had childhood trauma of abuse, you know, essay abuse and all kind of stuff, just so that they could control them, have them working for free. It became like a almost Scientology type thing, but it was based around soulmates. And they would force people into relationships with each other. Women who weren't gay, they would tell them, your soulmate is this other woman because she got masculine energy. Like, it was a whole thing that had them transitioning and getting top surgery, you know, that when they have mastectomies, craziness. So there are stories that get covered like this. Well, you know, his is mostly financial and emotional abuse is what Darius Cooks does. And, you know, stealing and stuff. But I truly believe that's the reason why. The reason why his story didn't even get bigger in 2021, it only got covered by the black media. And really, in the big scheme of things, he's not as big as he thinks he is. He is just not. I learned that. Don says, Ville, you're giving grace. Okay, I hate to see y'all. If y'all think I'm giving grace, I hate to see what y'all really want from me. Jesus, y'all think I'm still giving grace at this point? Okay. But that's it. Okay, y'all, let me get out of here because I got to get time to put the next show together. And if I stay on here any longer, even though this is fun, this is entertaining, but we'll be doing, you know, I try to do these a couple times a week. Closing out this poll. Have you seen Twin Flames on Netflix? Only 13% of you have seen it. 87% of you have not. If you're interested in like documentary stuff, and it's very interesting. It's like I don't know, y'all, it might be a 4 or 6 part little series. Good. I started watching it and I just kept watching. I binge watched it. So definitely check it out if you're looking for something to watch over the weekend or something. Not tonight, because we're going live tonight. Well, after we get off live, you can watch it. But don't watch it during our evening live. Vel, I think you are tasteful. Well, that's great. Thank you, Maria. I appreciate that. Saint Center says we want you to go scorch the earth. Oh, trust friend, be patient. Be patient, Grasshopper. I got something in the works. Actually, I got a couple things in the works. I got some plans. God has been speaking. Right. What more do you want from me? All right, y'all. With that, y'all have a great rest of your afternoon, and I will see y'all. Yeah, I'm gonna still say I don't know, y'all. Just pay attention. It's going to be either 6:15 or 7:15 p.m. Central this evening for our live stream. So 6:15 or 7:15 p.m. Central. All right, y'all have a great afternoon. See y'all later. Peace.